We know what the win conditions are. We know what the heroes are. After last game, you gotta kind of wonder though, what's the mindset at right now for VP? This is crazy, Trent.
Yeah, where are you at mentally? I think near the end of that draft too, you could see just how much time on that last pick and how it really looked like it had to be some sort of safe lane hero. But when I think of Ramsey, oh, that's banned out too. It seemed like LGD had a very good read on the draft.
Yeah,
I remember at the Super Major, I believe there was some talk to Solo about Ramsey. Just like, when do you pick it? And never.
Wait a minute though. Found Ame right at the start, but there's a lot of bugs. There is going to be Ramsey cut off from the rest of his team and all alone. The King takes it down.
Well, Canada is north of the wall, but he was on the wrong side of it this time.
Oh no. Well, you take a look at it now, and you know, not necessarily the way that you want to start. Not the end of the world, though. I think that's one that you can kind of. So one thing that we did sort of see in the past is this matchup of Kunkka versus the Tusk. You want to talk to me a little bit how these position 4s battle off against each other?
Yeah, you saw the Tusk get picked up after the Kunkka. It's been a little bit of a common counterpick as well. Kunkka trying to make a play here for the Rune. Secured with Pasha down bottom. Nice combination of the torrent. Just want to look for that snowball to try and stop that big combo happening. Try and secure your allies with that. And we heard the panel talking about, like, where's this tank for LGD, right? I mean, you're running first, you're showing a Weaver and a Terrorblade, so you're thinking, okay, kind of on the edge of the fight, in and out, lots of heavy damage. Terrorblade trying to be that standing tower, just mauling into the enemy team. But to me, now with the Lina being picked up, that means it kind of has to become Chalice's role, where he might even build into one of these earlier...
That much more survivable. Roger, in the meantime, going to be doing what we've seen more and more often nowadays, pulling that creep wave back behind the tower and trying to deny out a good bit of CS, but with the silencer chasing him, he's actually forced to just take it through the river.
No Chalice now.
In some trouble.
Yeah,
he took
early
those bugs. And instead, the shards from FY able to keep him alive, the salve up, the walk away, and now Solo not able to secure the kill onto the Tusk.
Fantastic save there from FY. Chalice just...
Looks like Chalice is going to come over, having gotten that level 2, and better put the hurt to him a little bit. So yeah, things to watch out.
There's definitely kill threat on Solo here. He's playing very aggressively.
And the bugs are on him now. The shards, they go out. They don't last all that long, but with the Nightmare, the runaway, they're getting the body blocks in. Solo, once this Nightmare dissipates, he's going to have another round of Sakuchi, and FY saying, come and fight me. I want to battle with you, man. And they are going to deny. Deny. Hit him. No. Hey, Chalice finds the kill. My heart's beating a little fast after that one.
Yeah, when you're playing this Bane, you're trying to get trades going. You want to be very active in the lane versus your opponents, trying to abuse your brain sap, but clearly Solo just got a little bit too ahead of himself there. But it was a little bit of space for an unharassed Ramsey to farm under the tower. And so try and put the zombies onto the Weaver.
Doesn't really work that well with the snowball on him, and instead they're going to turn the damage back onto Ramsey's. The minus armor and the punches, they go out another Nightmare, but traded it over. Chalice also in the area, but the crit comes from Ramsey's. Get off me!
Well, the crit wasn't very effective on the bug on him, but on the bug skittering around, much better.
It's just one of those things with the Weaver, you know, not a ton of HP, a lot of survivability in other ways. Silent, so it won't hit onto the torrent, and that means there's no arrow either. Play by X-Nova.
Still laying into Roger here.
Roger living? Oh yeah, he's gonna TP away, and the punch! He got him! X-Nova not giving up on the play.
That puts him now at 4 stolen, but he runs right back into Pasha. Just rotating on over, trying to secure that 4-minute bounty rune. Or sorry, 4-minute rune in the river. And looks like he will get it.
Got the new mount as well, super pretty. So Pasha will pick up the illusion and leap away from trouble. Gonna TP out of there.
The bug on top, yeah, gives it a little crit, but that bug shakes it off pretty well. Chalice, unfortunately, able to do the same thing. Solo just constantly harassing through the entire fight with the Nightmare, kind of controlling up this Weaver, and boom, 200 damage.
Felt pretty good about that one. Oh, look at the smile.
Oh, no one in trouble here. Back in the game with the stun now going.
Turning now on to Somnus. They pull the snowball in further forward. Can they get alive? No. Somnus gets the kill on no one. That's great.
Yeah, excellent initiation from FY there. The way that he doesn't just go in with the snowball and use the shards at the same time, he's spacing out his spells there, waits until the concoction's being used, and then he can kind of play around that with the snowball, which is, honestly, even though the Alchemist picked after, it's a very telegraphed stun, so it can be very handy to have a Tusk on your team versus it, especially with how important it is now where you go for this Radiance, then straight into the Blink on the Alchemist to try and be active with that cooldown talent.
FY with the snowball onto Solo, needs to be careful. The Fairy Fire's there. They bring in another, and this might be more damage. The Nightmare, the punches. FY is dead. They traded over the Nightmare, actually. Now Solo able to retreat. Chalice still chasing. Somnus has Laguna Blade. This should be a very easy pickup. Not wanting to do that. But yeah, Roger's going to get ran away yet again, and the shards block off. Nice play there from FY.
Where did this guy come from?
All right, apparently he didn't know he was there. The arrow from Mirana, though, is going to keep Roger alive, just helping out a teammate.
Save there, but FY.
This is not what an Alchemist wants, and Somnus has a Hasterin as well. They spot out no one. In trouble here as he does have his stun. Laguna Blade, everything thrown out. He turns the stun back around. Ramsey shows up now, throws out the Wraithfire Blast. They have the X as well, and the follow-up Torrent. This might end up being a death maybe.
Yeah, Skelly's finisher off there, and a bit too as devastating as an Alc pick as our previous match. But Pasha, he's out of mana.
Trying to lead the way. FY again, just back here behind enemy lines over and over. He keeps finding, if not just annoying somebody, then finding kills. Snowball also coming in, it sounds like. Over towards the side, they find themselves a catch here onto the Kunkka.
He's so far behind. He'll lose more in. This is hard on a strength roamer like this. Now 8 stolen for X-Nova. Oh no!
Nightmare dodge. Is it going to keep him alive? Or are they going to be able to find the kill rather?
Invis rune.
They're turning it back around. Solo maybe in trouble. They try and smoke to run away, but the crit is there. Ramsey's able to turn this one. Chaos in the jungle as they're going to be able to find themselves Solo, and FY just trying to run away, but there is going to be an X, and it looks like they're going to be able to take down FY's
Maybe
Tusk.
Though, also caught at the Roach pit trying to run.
I mean, he's still getting away from them for the moment. The punches are coming. FY taking a lot of space, and eventually the snowball continuing to make saves. Are you kidding me? FY, surely not. All right, yeah, he gets brought down to the end. He ran at by this Tusk. There's also a Nightmare on the other side on the Terrorblade.
I'm sure if X-Nova had a TP, he would be here right now to steal this, but unfortunately he doesn't have one.
Torrent comes out. They also find another kill onto Pasha's. Chalice is going to secure this finish onto Roger. Still trying to run away. Sakuchi to chase, and the punch.
And they killed Pasha. Wait.
Continue to loom closer and closer towards this Alchemist Radiance timing. Stun's thrown out there onto FY. He's getting very close, and does have the relic already.
And Ramsey's also trying to get involved in this game. He's just going straight for the Blink Dagger after the ring, so just getting a little bit of armor on. And at that point, it's going to be quite the force just hopping on top of this Terrorblade.
Terrorblade and then Chalice are in the area, going to start to put the pressure onto this Tier 1 tower in the mid lane. All of the other Tier 1s having already been secured. LGD wanting to take advantage of this timing before the Alchemist really comes online. It's, you know, a lot of different timings that you need to hit in a game like this, but getting as much done before that Alc comes online is important.
Yeah, it doesn't require a whole lot for that mid tower either. Just the Weaver and the Terrorblade. Maybe just walks into the wave up top, and Ramsey's is forced to just run away. Doesn't really want to waste his ultimate, and he'll have the Blink Dagger now, so probably a smoke play coming here. In fact, it'll just be a Moonlight Shadow, but it's all around this Weaver.
They see Ame as well, able to find him. The Global comes out in response. That boat's still going to hit, but I don't know if they have the follow-up now. With the Moonlight Shadow runaway, LGD, limited vision in this area. The Snowball save for the moment away from Ramsey's, and now chasing forward for more. Somnus is here as well. Chalice doing a good bit of damage. He might end up being brought down. They weren't able to find the kill there onto the Wraith King. Solo making space for the rest of his cores to find themselves kills. And it's a bane for a Weaver. You take that every day of the week.
Yeah, Ramsey.
Oh, wait, Ramsey. Well, that's just the ulti, but it hurts a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that good. He wanted to blink in, I think, and try and get the slow going so the team could follow up, but at that point, they're just running low on everything without a boat to follow. So, yeah, in the end, great trade to try and distract and annoy, and then also using that time lapse for the secondary life on him and the Sunder for the secondary life on the Terrorblade. It's a lot of working parts here.
And Ramses does not have his ultimate for another 180 seconds. The snowball forward with all these heroes around him. He is going to be caught, and TP's away. Can they break it? It does not look like it. Chalice with the time lapse away. Roger shows up. X-Mark, are they really trying to take this fight without the Wraith King? No, they're just buying space.
Yeah, maybe considering it just because it was post-time lapse and they still had the boat, but they will back away. The Shrine's up in 5 seconds. Could be a good fight for VP if PSG.LGD force it.
They are looking like they want to force it. The shards block off on one. It actually pushes him to the high ground, and they spot him out. Oh, the arrow. And fortunately, FY not managed to find that snowball to break the TP.
Okay, space though. Maybe just kind of shoves in the wave there, farms a bunch of it. Alright, his Yule Scepter up in towards that Shadow Blade. Wants to be his own threat across the map, because right now, Ramses has felt very comfortable just sitting on waves, pushing out pretty deep. Not a whole lot of threat to his life. If he goes down once, it's pretty hard for someone like the Lina, for example, to kill him a second time. And they're going to smoke right under another ward here from LGD.
They find the stun. The boat's going to be there as well. The long duration silence, it's not going to connect. And now the secondary stun hits onto the Alchemist. They're trying to focus down no one. He is starting to drop, but there's the Moonlight Shadow. They have double dust for double the kill. Arrow going to miss.
What an incredible game.
You're behind that bar. What do you do now if you're VP?
It's very difficult. They've got a pretty dumb Kunkka who's lost a lot of his int. You know, he's trying his best here, trying to read the instructions, but can't find him on that one.
FY, maybe this would be a good start. At least getting a kill onto this tough dust that's just been a thorn in their side.
He really has been. Very irritating. So nice pick up for the side of Virtus.pro. Ramsey will dance it off there.
And it does sort of feel like right now it's you would want to be, I guess, continuing to keep the pressure on a little bit with Virtus.pro. I guess that with the Alchemist Radiance now, he can try and just sort of fall back and farm. Is that the play?
Well, he looks like that's not going to work. He's actually eyeing up. Instead of that Blink Dagger to try and play aggressive and take fights that we've seen so much from these Radiants, Alchemists, he is to go for that rogue when you're a little bit behind, and he's going back towards that old Manta style, as he already has the Yasha picked up. And while he's hiding in the trees up top with his Radiance turned off, LGD are taking Roche. So I don't think they have quite the same read on this game that LGD do.
Man, LGD, we gotta make it happen. They do smoke up now for Virtus.pro, but it might be a little bit too late as Roche is going to fall into the hands of Ame, and if they continue to take this fight, this could turn south very quickly. Yeah, and Solo decides we're gonna back up, reset.
Yeah, but Roger's also waiting nearby because he wants to try and find just like one good pick. He is a Kunkka, you know, they can get this very long-range kill, back themselves away. They're gonna attempt to do it with a Moonlight Shadow. Doesn't look like there's a sentry here.
Is wearing off, but yeah, again, they spot out that this could potentially be coming their direction. They shard the cliff. They back away. Very, again, disciplined play coming from PSG.LGD.
And every time you look at this 2K lead, you just have to remember there's an Alchemist on the enemy team. This is worse than it looks.
18 minutes, the immediate D ward. Can we say enough about X-Nova's warding?
I know, it's unbelievable at this point. Feels like VP cannot get any sort of a foothold on this top half of the map right now.
13-8, and Virtus.pro sending multiple heroes up to the top side. X-Nova still holding on to Global. They're walking right on top of a ward. They do not realize this as Chalice is ready to chase down if they so desire, but it does look like Solo is going to be left alone. Are they going to decide to go on him? I think he spotted that rotation coming as well. FY in the area. They're going to snowball for this kill and not able to do almost anything.
Another, oh, actually not a -2. He didn't get there in time from X-Nova, but now they can pressure in as 3 here. You have a Terrorblade farming the jungle. You have Alina who just picked up a Shadow Blade coming on the Courier. Maybe could try and connect up top with them if they want to rotate down and grab a couple kills. But no real threat right now for LGD. They can just kind of relax here, knowing that they have this Aegis to play around.
So buy space for no one, is that still just the game plan right now for Virtus.pro, if at all possible?
At some point, they need to fight, but it looks like Ramsey is set on having that Blade Mail first.
Right.
And that could be something that could turn this around, right? There's no BKB yet for the Lina. Maybe he's going to be building into it first because he's starting to see that's really the only option they have to kill him. Much better BKB game than last game for him. Only has the Fiend's Grip this time to worry about, no black holes, and he can take care of things like the Kunkka and the Mirana. Lots of magical damage, as well as what would be thrown back from that Blade Mail. So a Yule Scepter forced out here for Pasha. Some way to deal with this silence, but it means that he can't really go into any sort of damage for himself. And they are going to smoke up here. This time, it won't be directly scouted necessarily. There was an illusion in the area from Ame.
Oh, he takes that rune.
But the arrow's already gone.
Yeah, no follow-up right now either. They realize where all of VP is, and that smoke not going to amount to a kill, it looks like.
And it looks like they just got all 4 bounty runes here to the side of LGD.
Clinical.
You definitely need that as an alpha team.
And no one wants to find the stun here onto Chalice. Time-lapse, there is still an X that's going to catch him. The Global is going to be there. The boat is still going to connect at the end of it. So they find themselves a kill on no one. That's the beginning.
Yes, very good to take down Chalice like that. give no one a little bit of gold. So keep those up. They want to keep the ball rolling. They're moving through. Solo has the Nightmare. He finds the correct one. This time we have the arrow, but he stopped it.
Oh, the trade over with the Manta. Great play, and the snowball save as well. Following for more. Roger is going to die here, it looks like, as they do have the vision to take him down. X-Nova running away. The Yule Scepter dodge still manages to hit there onto X-Nova, who is going to fall. Well, Xenoblade out onto no one, still jumping out of there. They can't get the Sunder off. He still does have the Aegis.
Solo found that big kill with the Fiend's Grip. Now coming back up, they will miss with the arrow, and they're chasing forward. They have the snowball.
Fly looking for that opening. It's just going to Walrus Punch Solo there, and the Light Strike Gray going to connect. Now, can they find any more? LGD looking to continue this.
Fly wants it. He throws a long bomb, but the Hail Mary won't connect, and they will just settle for this Tier 2 tower. So it looks like with buybacks and everything to the side of the Radiant, relatively even fight, but VP did take down that Aegis. Unfortunately, there was only about a minute left on it anyway. However, it is still just an instance where they're not falling further behind.
Only a 3,000 gold lead. 16-10, 21 minutes into this one, and what's felt like just a bloodbath. Continuing to seem like it's going to go that way. Chalice picking up the Diffusal Blade now. Burning through mana of the Wraith King. Important. Make sure he can't get that ultimate off. Going for the BKB next. I mean, around these BKB timings, that's normally where teams try to want to end the game. Is that what they're looking to do for LGD?
I think it just makes sense with their lineup because they don't have that traditional frontliner that all three of the heroes have to buy this BKB. So it's not necessarily a requirement for going high ground so much as it is a requirement for just not throwing away your lead.
Okay.
And there's that Blink Dagger now picked up here for no one. So this is where they can try and get aggressive in sync with the Blade Mail. This is the best timing for Virtus Pro. Try and find some good engagements.
Solo, their vision. Go with the Nightmare yet again. The Shard's a little bit off the mark that time, and with the rotation current from Kunkka, will not commit any more heroes to this game Woods. Aegis having expired, already been used up in that last fight by Ame. It does feel like PSG.LGD are going to be waiting for the next Roche before they really go for a big team fight. There's the lift up there. Arrow afterwards connects onto the silencer. Diffusal Blade out. No one shows up, wants to take this fight possibly.
They can't even finish the silencer. They're not sure what's happening on the side of LGD, but the reinforcements are actually quite far away.
They are showing up though, and X-Nova, all the illusions chasing him, feels pretty bad right now to be a silencer, but
wait, he might get out?
Is he actually going to be able to walk away from this? Has a TP as well, and now Ramses is kind of in an awkward spot. Do they realize where he's at the sigil? It spots him out, and Ramses is going to be caught, and blocks the Blade Mail, tries to turn this, but it does look like eventually, again, the Wraith King will be found.
X-Nova wants that -2. Get over here, buddy.
He's sticking around. They bullied him earlier, but they eventually take the kill.
17-10 now, a 4K lead. LGD, are we going to get a second 2-0? Can they keep this going? That's a real question. BP looked pretty defeated after game one. They've fallen back on an Alchemist. All this pressure on no one. And what was their first foray, really, with the Blink Dagger did not go very successfully.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you do talk about like the damage mitigation that comes in from the Radiant's Mischance, all of these things working in consort to try and mess with the Terrorblade, but it just doesn't feel like they're at that point right now to be able to fight against the pressure that's coming. And you see this right here. How many feeling comfortable pressing this far forward while the smoke is going on, and they're looking for him, find him immediately. There's going to be the Yule Scepter. Can they follow it up? Snowball, Walrus Punch. They have the Spear Vessel. He's not regenning. He's dying.
Even throw the ulti to secure, but Pasha still rotates in here. He's all alone.
Is he really trying to take this? They actually might be able to make this work, though. The silence is going to be there as well. Pasha's dead from Somnus as well. They buy back on the Mirana. X-Nova chasing forward on no HP, but FY is going to be there as well. And there's the Laguna Blade onto the Kunkka. Does not even get to cast his ship as Ramses also being ran at. LGD, what are you doing? You're just tearing at him. They're going for the Armwood toggle, but it's not enough. They take down the bottom tier 3 tower. Ame can trade so much space. They actually might be able to kill off this Terrorblade, but is he going to be able to get out there? They've got it. No one in trouble. It's dead yet again. LGD running over the corpses of Virtus Pro.
I think last game the buybacks weren't there. This time they were for Virtus Pro, but they were not used in the best possible way.
And you can hear the adoration from the crowd right now. A huge win right here as they are taking down the first set of barracks 25 minutes into this game. $13,000 gold lead for LGD.
Now it's one set of racks versus an Alchemist draft. It's not the end here for Virtus Pro, but a 13k gold lead versus an Alchemist. Things are looking fantastic here for PSG.LGD. They just retreat back. Some real scribbles across the map from Ramses, you can see. I think declaring that their half's just not safe.
They pick up this Blink Dagger as well on the Tusk now for more of those snowball saves. And I mean, if you're Virtus Pro at this point, like it doesn't really feel like there's a plan B. They're kind of in it right now, and they just have to sort of battle their way out of it, it feels like.
Such a clear game plan from PSG.LGD around this Terrorblade. Have you ever really felt like Ame was threatened? Really. That was the closest he came to dying, and he was versus like 3 heroes. With the rest of his team on the other side of the map, he takes a tier 3 by himself, and then the reinforcements arrive. They have given him so much room here. Again, it does come back to that vision. You just can't ignore it. He always knows what Virtus Pro is up to.
Speaking of vision, after Roche respawns, 10 seconds later, LGD are in the pit. Starting to take it down for what could potentially be.
They have to fight this. There's no choice, but remember, the buybacks are limited for Virtus Pro.
None on at all any of the heroes for Virtus Pro.
Roger, the only one that's even close.
And the arrow's going to go out. It's going to connect on Illusion.
Ramses
now they know there's the Yule Scepter lift up. They do have a Global Stone. They want to use it possibly. It's going to be dropped down, but they have the Aegis. It's on the Terrorblade. Chasing for more. They bring down X-No below, but he's still not dead. He does finally fall. Can they kill off Roger? It is going to happen. And now can they chase for any more? Ramsey still diving into this one. He goes for the snowball. There's going to be a Fiend's Grip onto the Terrorblade, trying to kill him off. The Blade Mail still going for Ramses as they lay into him. And now there's the reflection coming out as well. They do bring him down one time, but it comes at the cost of the Wraith King's first life as well.
Back up, and he's just all on his own. The team is abandoning Ramses.
And trying to armlet toggle his way out of it. It's not going to happen. He does take down Chalice. Not a bad kill there. Solo also being killed off as well, though. And 3 dead. That's the Aegis down. At the very least.
Ends up being a relatively even trade across the board there, but once you add the fact that the Aegis was taken as well as the cheese, they lose the Aegis, but at least they'll get to keep the cheese there on for Ame.
Arrow out, no one trying to go for initiation here. This could be good for them, but they can't even kill off the Tusk early. The reflection is just so hard to fight into that radiance that you just get
Roger
for free.
needs a big play.
Oh, and the Manta dodge as well. Not bad from Ame. The boat's gonna hit, but nothing else.
No arrow follow-up, and kept losing a tower as well just to this catapult. Everything going wrong here for Virtus Pro.
What more can you really say about LGD this game? They've got the BKB now, trying to go for the Assault Cuirass on the Lina. They're getting closer to the Lincoln Sphere as well. One of the main ways that you've seen VP get back into this, at least a little bit when they've been fighting, is a Fiend's Grip onto that Terrorblade. You can take a look at this replay here.
Yeah, you see Ramsey. What a play here by, I believe it was maybe, or just yules him up in the air, grabbed him. Made sure he couldn't initiate for the Aegis steal.
At this point, too, going forward through every subsequent fight, they're going to have that reflection cooldown on the Terrorblade. They found themselves no one yet again. There is not an answer in the world for that.
That Spirit Vessel is just such a strong counter at this point when you're able to catch up to an Alchemist like this. Can't get into a BKB in time. Still so far right now for Ramsey, or for no one. They go back to the shrine. Oh, thank you, team. Zombies just still hitting neutrals.
He's doing it. He's fine with that. They do throw out the boat. This is one of the nice parts about Kunkka at this stage in the game, at the very least, is that you can push out creep waves very quickly because of that low cooldown. Going to need it. As, Pasha yet again found, lifted up. There's going to be the Light Strike Array. Hits while he's going through the air. The Walrus punch, the snowball, going forward for more. And Pasha in trouble. It's the Yule Scepter liftoff, living, and that's not going to be there. That's some Twinkle Toes.
Pasha finds a bit of time, right? Wave dies, and the tower lives for about 10 more seconds. But that's 10 more seconds for no one to try and get back up here with no buyback. And now he'll have enough gold for the BKB if they want to try one last hurrah using that.
Under attack.
Got it. They need to win a fight, it feels like. Drawing even at this point does not feel good enough, and it's even tough drawing even.
And methodical play here from PSG.LGD. They already took down the top shrine, they move on to the bottom.
Bottom shrine is
nice there from Ramses, comes in, secures his team, a little bit of extra gold. do what they need to get into those KDs, as you said. But it's actually going to be the Alk queuing up a Shiva's Guard now instead.
Okay.
Such a hard game at this point. 19,000 gold lead. And you're on an Alchemist. This hero balanced around being ahead.
Yeah. Looks like no one's just trying to find some sort of answer to these terrible illusions as Solo will actually nightmare him to stop his self-stun. What a great teammate.
Oh yeah. But again, LGD coming into the main event, you know, being able to sustain against the pressure that was coming from VP in game number 1 and then come back with a performance like this in game number 2. Very impressive stuff. Has thought about going on Ramses, but he's not an easy target to take down. Play to know how he feels about it.
Not only is the lead much larger in this game, it's just not the same sort of mechanics for a comeback situation. There's still a tier 1 in the mid lane right now for the side of LGD. You know, that whole march down mid after a one-team fight, not an easy situation right now for the Radiant to, or rather for Virtus Pro to try and achieve, and buybacks are still there right now for everyone except for the Lina.
Finish off the Shiva's Guard, trying to send the courier around that way to cure that one back for Virtus Pro. They're sending it the very, very long way, but it does have the Shiva's Guard on it.
Invisibility.
And they're just holed up in their base right now.
This means that you can get so much farm around the rest of the map with the rest of the heroes of LGD. Sometimes it can be a little bit dangerous because you have to sort of push out all the side lanes and that might leave somebody else open, but yeah, you can see 97% is pretty good.
How does that even work?
Scan just to make sure Pasha actually left up top, but he is back where he belongs, hiding away here. LGD look to close this one out again, just the slow play, just building up some more defensive items here, looking for a Lincoln Sphere for Chalice, and FY using this gem just to fully secure the vision, as well as thinking about getting himself a scythe if he can get there.
In their eyes, crossing their T's,
That is
running
the real
at
Ramsey down there, and Ame just boldly runs at him.
Does not have a care in the world right now. Cheese, BKB, everything. If they find a pick off here, great. But honestly, they can just wait till the next Roche also if they want to. Within vision, Sentry and Observer Ward combo. Pretty good details as to what's happening, but that gem does mean that it's going to be that much less likely that they're going to be able to keep that vision up. They're going to have to play in the dark.
Yeah, I'm sure FY is just itching for it right now, but he will play patiently. As much as he can see these Virtus Pro heroes, he'd rather they actually left the base. They know they need to win some sort of massive fight. So eventually, Virtus Pro are going to feel forced to come out, whether it's the next Roche fight, or if they want to try a sneaky smoke play after a big item pickup, it's probably their best chance to get into it.
And again, just every time you walk out, they can't even finish off a whole creep wave because they don't feel confident, because immediately LGD is there, potentially just going to blow one of them up. I do think that this is a really nice part about the Blade Mail pickup for Ramses. If he didn't have that item, odds are they would just try and kill him every time. But he at least can go out there.
Maybe try and burn his ultimate or something, but they're just not allowing any sort of response coming out from Virtus Pro, because there are good counter-initiation heroes. Like, Kunkka's not the fastest counter-initiator, but when you have an entire reincarnation to work around, it gives good opportunities for Roger to maybe find a couple stuns with the boat, and maybe that'll give enough space for the big Shiva's Guard from no one, and suddenly you've killed one hero and you can run down this fight. We are still dealing with a tri-core that isn't that traditional sense of having like someone relatively tanky. Solo will finally get caught on a mission here.
Arrow flying out as well. BP, they're going to buy back on Solo. And there's the Diffuser Blade onto Pasha, forcing out the lead. The stun is going to connect. They have the X, the Torrent. It's going to be off the mark, though. Now Terrorblade just walks in bold as brass and throw out that reflection, daring them to come and fight.
And you can see, again, very disciplined play here from PSG.LGD. They don't chase it all. They might have some pretty high mobility.
Now there's going to be the stun going out again. Locked for the moment. They still are tearing into this tower. Solo with nowhere really left to go, and he's going to get punched to death. Ame striking forward, asserting dominance over the captain of Virtus Pro, who bought back, so they don't have this Bane in the next fight. And it might not even be a fight, to be honest, the way that this is going. LGD just walking over them. No one trying to get it back with the Shiva's Guard, slow down this pressure that's coming. But this looks like it's going to be the second set of racks, and GG is called. Eventually, LGD stomp over.
That was an emphatic dramatic victory from LGD. They never really looked behind. They saw every move coming from Virtus Pro. I think they knew what Virtus Pro were doing before Virtus Pro did. Like, they saw everything. All of these boards across the entire map. Sentries laid down, Moonlight Shot.